It's the 7th time this season Arsenal have drawn from a winning position. This is how things are looking stats-wise in the game. As for Arsenal, that draw means that Liverpool can go 8 points clear with a game in hand if they are to win their game against Manchester United tomorrow. But obviously, there was some controversy in this game, so let's hear what Nicol had to say after the game.
Well, I've never seen a decision like this in my career. I asked the boys if they have, and nobody have seen it before. When you look at the incident, the distance, the player, Joao touching the ball, then Saliba touching the ball, you can see contact there.
Did you expect that to be overturned?
If I expect it? Well, I checked, and after 3 seconds, they said they already checked.
That feels quick.
Seems quick.
Julien Laurens is joining us now, so we should start, Jules, by asking what you made of that unusual penalty call.
Well, I thought watching the game on TV, I thought it was a penalty. I agree with Stevie. I think the headbutt, and I think it's unfortunate because that's not the intention of Saliba, obviously. But then there's one angle with the replay on slow motion, and I think I don't know if VAR checked that one, where clearly Saliba touches the ball before there's the head clashes with Joao Pedro. And I think if Saliba goes for the ball, his head with the ball, touches the ball first, then whether or not after that he touches the player, I don't think it matters so much because he got the ball first, and it's just his momentum after hitting the ball that goes towards Joao Pedro. So with a bit of hindsight and that second replay that I hadn't seen during the game, but I saw later after the game was finished, I thought then that should not have been given as a penalty.
Saliba. The only reason Saliba touches the ball is because he's fortunate. He's not even close to the ball. His head is going towards Joao Pedro. And the fact that the ball comes off him after Joao Pedro's hit it and then he headbutts him is absolutely no excuse for not giving a penalty. He's headbutted him. And as I said, the key for me is, does it hit Saliba on the head? Yeah, but again, it's got nothing to do with Saliba, the fact the ball hit him on the head. He clearly is going for the ball and headbutts Joao Pedro. I don't see the controversy myself.
Does it feel harsh because it is an accidental clash of heads?
No, it doesn't. If I accidentally kick somebody in the box, it's a penalty. I see this as barely different. And to Stevie's point, Joao Pedro gets to the ball first. He heads it. It takes a nick off of Saliba. It doesn't divert the ball away from Joao Pedro, who's running onto the ball. He doesn't get onto the end of that ball because of Saliba's follow-through, which catches him in the head. That has all the hallmarks of a foul. It's in the 18-yard box, so therefore it's a penalty. I'm not sure what the controversy is here.
Ale?
I could not agree more with Stevie. And welcome back, Shaka, Hislop, making so much sense today. It's a classic case of a player who's going to challenge for a ball initially. Saliba, that's his intent, but the ball is no longer there by the time he gets there. So he's late and misses the ball. And when I say misses the ball, while there is a slight touch, the point being that the challenge that he's making goes straight to the head of Joao Pedro. It's a penalty. And I really think that all this conversation, all it does, and Arteta knows this very well, that it takes away from the real analysis of the game and the struggles of Arsenal that continue to be, you just used the word hallmark, yes, that continue to be a hallmark of what this Arsenal season has been so far. It's been a characteristic of this team that they give up leads. It's been a characteristic of this team that if they're not scoring on set pieces, they're having difficulty in scoring goals. It's a characteristic of this team that they drop off in terms of the level of performance in second halves of matches. It has been going on throughout the course of the season, and this game was no different.
Jules, you get the final say. We go full circle here on that penalty call.
Yeah, I hear what the boys are saying. I just think that Saliba still touches the ball first. And I didn't see it first, and I thought it was a penalty. I saw after, and it made me rethink, to be fair. But I agree with Ali in the sense that it's not a good Arsenal performance. Again, I think when you play without Timber, Odegaard, Shaka, Havertz and Martinelli from kickoff is more difficult because they are important players for that team, but they're not playing well. Arteta said that after the game. I don't think he used the penalty to deflect from anything. He said himself that the performance was not good enough. It's not the first time. It's been going on for a while, and yet the reliance on set pieces is a lot now, maybe too much as well.
Was it always going to be a struggle, though, Shaka, this game? Obviously, we've just heard what Ale said there, but there's players missing, key players as well. Odegaard starts on the bench today. Saka's not there. Kai Havertz wasn't there. There are players that usually Arsenal rely on to make the difference that aren't present.
Absolutely. Arsenal do have players missing. If you want to call it, if you want to characterize it as an injury crisis, then you're free to do that. Brighton are also a very good team, and we have to give Brighton that credit at the very least. I know they haven't been in great form themselves. They've been drawing far too many games of late, but take nothing away from the kind of football that Brighton continues to play season in, season out. So I think Brighton kind of earned their way back into this game. And yes, things could have been a whole lot different for Arsenal had some of those players been present, but every single team is going to have these moments. That's why a season is this long. Top clubs don't get to complain about that because they all have to at some point or the other. And while, yes, I get the point that Arsenal could and should have been better, even with those players, even with Havertz and Shaka, we know more of the Arsenal set-piece coach than we know of the first-team squad. And that tells its story. That really tells the story about Arsenal. Difficult to beat, but even when they're at full strength, they just disappoint in terms of how often they freely create opportunities that aren't from a dead ball.
What's missing, Stevie? Is it more than just big players?
Do you know, I'd have to say, watching this today, the biggest thing I thought was missing was the desire to go and win the Premier League. Mm-hmm. You know, we've been sitting here all week talking about the chasing pack. Well, when you go out and perform the way Arsenal did, that doesn't look to me as though they're chasing anything. That looks to me as though they're just going out and maybe try and win the game. But if we don't, then we'll take the point. I mean, where's the fire in your belly? Where's the desire? You know, you're what, 8 points behind before the ball's kicked. You can't afford to drop any more points. So you would think that would be reflected in the performance. Or certainly, not the performance, that's the wrong word, because sometimes you don't play well. But to not see any real fight and fire and desire, that seems strange to me.
Or to not see the game out, sorry, Shaq, or to not see the game out. You're already winning 1-0. And you would think this is when you grab control of the match. Even if you're not creating a bunch of opportunities, which I think we can all agree that they haven't done over the course of the season, that at the very least you take the game into the attacking half and you assert your dominance because of the quality of your possession. But too many times, I think, not only today, but this season, Arsenal was all too happy to give the ball to Brighton, or all too happy to all of a sudden be exposed in a moment of transition, or all too happy to just kind of let the game be played out in the terms that Brighton wanted to play, especially in the second half. And I just don't see a team, to your point, Stevie, that, I don't know whether the word is desire, but that has the sense of belief that we can actually go and chase Liverpool, that we can actually go and win games like this one, that you are, to your point, far more comfortable in saying, you know what, it's not going our way, we're missing players, we have a lot of excuses, we'll take the point and move on with our lives. I just don't think that that's winning sort of approach or winning sort of attitude, and they need that right now, desperately.
Probably the word is urgency.
Yeah.
There was no urgency in it at all.
The thing that jumped out at me most during the course of this game is, while we're all desperate for a title race, and we feel if anybody's Arsenal are the ones who are going to chase Liverpool down. But you look at Liverpool play, you look at the chances they create, you look at the goals they score, and you compare and contrast that with this version of Arsenal. And really, I know we'll get to Chelsea and City later on, but certainly between the two, it couldn't have been any more different in terms of style, in terms of the attraction of how they play, just in terms of how they thrill the absolute neutral. Arsenal are more playing as a team that don't really want to lose. as opposed to want to go out and win games.
Let's take a look at the title odds, because obviously there's been a lot of talk about how big a title race blow this is for Arsenal. Liverpool are big favourites right now in the table. Arsenal have played 2 more games currently as it stands right now than Liverpool and sit 5 points behind them. How big a blow is it, Jules?
I don't think a draw away at Brighton is a bad result in itself. Of course, for Arsenal to put more pressure on Liverpool, especially before the game tomorrow, and then the following weeks, they would have to try to be as perfect as possible. But going away at Brighton on the back of these festive periods, it's not a bad result, really, when you think about it. Except that if Liverpool win tomorrow against United, which I think we all expect them to, because of the form that they are in, then they go 8 points clear again with a game in hand. So the gap is potentially going to be even bigger than what it was a few hours ago. So yeah, of course, in that sense, it's a blow. It's a 13 games unbeaten run for Arsenal. Yes, they're not playing well. I don't think we need to compare them with Liverpool. Liverpool are in a league of their own, really. This is their title to lose. We've said that for many weeks now. They are playing much better than anybody else with the ball, without the ball, attacking-wise, defensively. They have all their best players fit and firing like maybe rarely before, all together, certainly. So great for Liverpool to be in that position. And for Arsenal, the only way they could still hope to somehow trying to bridge that gap was to be 100% perfect. And clearly today they were not good enough on the day.
Is it over, Ale?
I don't think we're quite there just yet, but it really is on Liverpool. I honestly don't look at Arsenal or anybody else for that matter as being capable of perfection. Jules was just using the word perfection there. I don't think they're going to be perfect. And so if indeed this is going to become a race, there has to be some sort of collapse coming from Liverpool, and that doesn't seem to be the case. So you add all those things together, I've taken the cynic route, but yeah, it's over.
Stevie gets the final say.
No, it's not over.
Okay.
It's not over. It is.
Says former Liverpool Steve Nicol.
Listen, I agree with Jules. I agree with Ali. It is Liverpool's to lose. We said it 2 weeks ago, and nothing has changed. And the fact that Arsenal and Chelsea and everybody else have been dropping points, just double down on it's Liverpool's to lose. They're going to have some sort of terrible injury crisis or an incredible Man City loss of form. It's going to have to be something really unique for Liverpool to mess this up. It really does.
The only thing I will say is every single team, regardless of who you are, has a bad patch at some point during the course of a season. It's how you manage that bad patch that determines where you finish. And Liverpool haven't had theirs. But all other things being even, there's only one team in this league.
One thing that might suggest that Liverpool could...